Hi, my name is Jonathan. Today we'll talk about how we got our first 20 paying customers for my SaaS and how you can get your first 20 customers as well. So my name is Jonathan. I'm building Univid, a webinar platform to create engaging webinars in 60 seconds. We started out in 2019, actually in a completely different niche, but this is where we ended up through some pivots, and now we've been having a very niched focus for quite some time. I'm a fan of growth hacking and growth engineering, and that's what I'll talk about today. And I'll share some tips and tricks on how we did it through kind of 5 different channels we used to get our first 20 customers. Today's agenda will be jumping into kind of a bit of our backstory, but then going into kind of growth engineering and what that is. Basically, we started out building a platform for education, and then that turned into a pivot towards digital events once the pandemic hit. We realized a lot of these customers wanted to set things up themselves, so we targeted not only the event firms anymore, but also the end customers. So that got us through some we also went through some startup incubators and accelerators and so on. And along the way here, we kind of dog-feeded a lot, meaning we let all of our, let's say, partners and people we met use our platform and kind of forced that upon them as well. So really made people use it and used it ourselves as well. And that was really kind of a success factor in our journey. We also got some cool initial brands as customers. So for example, Facebook was one of our first customers, which was really cool. We also signed one of the biggest political fairs in the world, Almedalsveckan here in Sweden. So that was also a huge win for us. And actually through a public procurement, so kind of a different type of deal than the SaaS deals we do today. We actually also raised some money during this time from kind of micro VC type of investment. But let's jump into how we actually got our first 20 customers and the kind of 5 ways we did it. And growth engineering is all about kind of finding ways to get outsized growth returns with fewer resources, either amongst your existing customers or optimize existing growth channels that you already have, but most of the job will be finding new ones in the beginning at least. There are a lot of growth channels to choose from here. They're all listed nicely in the book Traction by Gabriel Weinberg. He lists 19 of them, but there are obviously more. The good thing is that you don't have to use all of them or even have to try all of them, but you should evaluate most of them to at least give some initial idea on what to focus on, so you don't kind of miss out on any good ones early on. But the 5 growth channels we've used to get our first 20 customers have been partners and doped word of mouth, outbound sales, running existing communities and tapping into those, built-in virality within our product, and also running founder-led content. Partners and doped word of mouth is kind of the first one here, and that is a lot about letting partners and customers do the talking for you. And this is highly efficient because it doesn't matter if you tell people or prospects that you have a great product. People nowadays need to show and see proof of it being so from unbiased sources. So people turn to other people in their network, peers, and social communities and so on. So this has been a huge lever for us as we initially just had a few different customers. Then we actually took advantage of those customers and made cases out of them. So we really exposed kind of the small usage we had initially, and exposed that towards all of the other kind of their existing networks as they shared our material, our customers, and we really made sure to do really good cases and material that would look really nice visually, so they would actually share it. And then we will spread in their networks kind of in a doped way, which might have not gone that fast if we didn't do this very hands-on early on. And actually over 20% of our new customers are referred. So we grow in a very lean way where we utilize the kind of customer base we have, and that just keeps on growing and growing, which is really nice as you get a low cost of acquisition or CAC. Yeah, so that's kind of cool. We got a bunch of like Fortune 500 companies being referred to us this way. So it's really, really powerful. And partners was actually back in the day how Univid actually started out and our initial kind of go-to-market strategy. So we used basically partners that had existing relationships with end customers, and we made sure to be the kind of go-to guys for the platform in terms of the technology and so on. So they really turned to us, and we could then leverage in return their kind of brand and relationship they've already built with the customer. And we could then tap into a bunch of really big customers. So for example, Facebook was one of those that came very early on as one of our first customers. And then we just got, from that one event, we got a lot of different other events as the kind of studio talked about it, the production company, the event firm, and then that just kept on growing. And as I mentioned, you can kind of dope this in a way yourself. Create free marketing material that people will want to share and create kind of a win-win there. And that will be really beneficial for you as people start to share it and talk about you and see you as kind of a platform you want to do business with. So make them look good. That's kind of the key takeaway. Also, as I mentioned, your eyeballs you get on this type of content will be from typically relevant people in their networks. So if you, for example, targeting CMO, those typical CMOs have other CMOs in their network. So once they share this and like it and comment, all of the other CMOs will see it. And that's really nice. Also, we used traditional outbound sales, cold calling, cold emailing, and all that jazz. This is the hard, blunt way of getting growth happening in the early stages, and I would say something all founders or early stage startup people should do sometime. It's getting harder and harder to stand out through these methods, obviously, as people are more aware of their time and don't want to get abrupted throughout their day. So here it's good to use this as a way to get feedback early on, because it is very direct, and as a qualitative way to get instant feedback. So instead of like relying on SEO or similar, that takes a lot of time and you don't really know if you do a good job or not, or if people will like your product or not before like maybe 6 months or 1 year down the line. That's way too long if you're looking to iterate quickly and validate in the beginning. So make sure to instead reach out through cold outbound, and you will see you'll know if people say tell you to F right off, or if they are really into your offering. And then you can also ask questions and kind of tweak it very fast in the beginning. Examples of where to find prospects is services like Apollo. You can Google, you can go to conferences and events and just fetch the kind of registrants list there. Go to tools like Built With or B2B by Adam Robinson are some solid like sources that you can also use for free to some extent. Spin Selling talks a lot about also how to run outbound sales in the start. Transparency Sale is also another book that's great. And you don't need a lot to do this. Basically, you need some email addresses or phone numbers and some kind of dedicated IP or email tool if you want to really ramp up emailing eventually. And this might not be the way you scale. It's not for us. We scale out inbound driven and kind of with the product-led sales or PLG type of motion, but this is great in the start. And with our twist, we have actually used along the way here, we have used some ways to really like make this really efficient. So that's kind of ways to make things allow you to focus on the right things when it comes to outbound sales or any type of other activity you do to get growth happening. It's also about building internal tools and processes to make this really fast. We built one internal scraper to find people that are already hosting webinars. That's the people we're wanting to target. So essentially we can find, based on domains, we can find, give them a score and then know how likely they are to host webinars and if we should even reach out to them. Also, we built a screenshot generator, so we can generate really nice screenshots to put in cold emails or other customer kind of communication and allow them to see kind of their design in our SaaS product right away with their branding and so on. So that's good ways to stand out. So basically on our webpage, univid.io, you can create an account, or even without an account, you can create a session for free with just an URL. Then you will get a webinar branded for you. And here I can just take the kind of ID. I can input if I want it in Swedish or English with a chat or Q&A, and then just generate a screenshot of this session with some interaction in action, so to speak. So that's a really nice way how I can generate a screenshot in a matter of seconds that I can then put in customer offers, emails, and so on. So a way to automate the way I work with growth in a very lean way within our company Univid. Also, we tapped into existing communities, and that's something we do a lot today as well. The nice thing is here, as just as with SEO, you already have demand going on there, and you already have people questioning, asking questions within your subject, maybe looking for an HR tool, a webinar tool, or your tool. So 2 ways you can get users is both through Reddit and Slack. And that could be Facebook, IG, TikTok, or whatever as well. Find out where they are and then join in on the conversation. And this relies heavily on which ICP or ideal customer you have, obviously. The way I used Reddit was to basically, is to plug our solution and learn more about our ideal customer. So I search for relevant words to webinars, which is our kind of topic, and then we go in there and join the conversation. Sometimes we plug our solution Univid if we see fit, or sometimes we just add on into the discussion to be seen as kind of experts in our area and just learn more about our ideal customer. I've already also used this to kind of post relevant content for our ICP and learn more about them in that way, and get some viral threads going. And also kind of make story posts where our solution is part of the story and get some free marketing that way. The thing with Reddit is you have to be very careful to not put out some like corporate type of bad content that just feels very generic and not really personal and doesn't add any value. So I see a lot of those like AI generated shit posts, so stay away from that and keep really like focused on value adding, that value adding part, whether it's a story, it's a fun kind of conversation sparker post, or a comment where you kind of add some ideas on different solutions they could test, or that doesn't even have to involve your solution all the time. So be really like focused on transparently giving like good advice and not plugging your solution per se. Here's a post that got over 335k views, and I think I've got over 1 million impressions in quite a short time. So you can really work with viral threads or viral posts together with comments that are a bit more relevant where they are due. Also, I've leveraged competitor Slack communities. So, for example, a solution in our space called Sessions was shut down or had some problems I think this was a few months ago now. But basically, I found their LinkedIn page. I saw they had a lot of unhappy users because they basically just shut the service down without telling anyone. Not maybe the way to do business, but they did, and the people were upset. So I got actually connected with one of their users and got invited to their private Slack community. This meant I could talk with, I think it was over 3,000 other users and give them a special kind of deal to go over to our solution as well for webinars. That was actually a stable version or a stable alternative to theirs that didn't work. So that was a big value add and for them, and also it sparked a lot of conversations with prospects, learning a bit more about them and helping them out while obviously getting a bunch of new users for our platform. And obviously you should do this where you see fit and to your ideal customers. So think about like, will this actually be some people that will join my potential solution? And I also added a comparison page for SEO purposes, so people could find us as an alternative on Google when they search for alternatives to the broken one they had right now. We've also worked with built-in virality, and this is the fourth one. And this is basically letting our product or our SaaS grow itself. This is pretty cool. This is basically allowing the users to spread the product for you by using the product. Customers to host events or webinars in Univid, and that gives exposure to, for example, 200 people every time one company hosts a webinar, which they do all the time now. And that's built-in virality. So those 200 people will get exposure to the product, and we'll also get some nice backlink effects and similar from this. So that has led to us having kind of an exponential growth of events during this year, and this has kept on going from these numbers. So that's a really cool way of how like usage just feeds both exposure, virality, but also things like putting us in links and similar. That really helps out growth. The PLG handbook there, Product-Led Growth by Wes Bush, is a really great read on this topic as well. And for example, here is some examples of how we use exposure virality. So basically, similar to what Apple did, sent from my iPhone, we have a small like create your webinar here in our emails with a small link. We also have like webinar powered by Univid, and obviously in the URL you can also see it. So those are some small ways where you kind of feed this existing growth loop and make it visible for the ones who want to see it, not everyone. And the fifth one is founder-led content. And this is a great way you can grow from 0 to 20, from 20 to 1,000 customers. Content is awesome and is really king nowadays, as prospects are looking for authentic type of relationships with people they want to do business with. They look for authentic advice and similar. And that's something they get through content, not through ads or not through like AI, blasting out AI type of stuff. You want some real people, and you want to do business with people. So this is basically just telling your story, your founding story, challenges you meet, solutions to those, and just sharing your kind of everyday, and to a relevant ideal customer typically. So it could be traditional like building public if you have a development community you're targeting, or just to any type of audience you're looking to find. You would have to kind of tailor the content towards, let's say, productivity or reading marketing books or something like that. Some people that do this really well is Adam Robinson with our B2B. He has a ton of followers on LinkedIn now, and he kind of shares really transparently the numbers and everything behind their growth journey, both ups and downs. So when they have a bad month, he'll share that as well, which is what makes it fun to follow, and what gets him the engagement. The Lemblist founder Guillaume is also active. Mark Liu is also another one who works a lot on pushing out Twitter and YouTube content, and kind of more of a solopreneur, working with smaller micro SaaS and doing that really well. But essentially, to start out on your own, as I do as well, I found these kind of influential people in my niche, and then you could copy their style initially, to kind of figure out your own style. So don't think you have to be original day one, but you will be original one day. So that's how kind of art works, as Still Like an Artist talks about, and how great products are built and how great content is made as well. And I'll share how this is how founder-led content can really be efficient, even though you don't have like 1,000 likes or it's popping off big time. So this was some weeks or months ago. But basically I emailed a selfie to a customer, put it in the email. It's a great, actually, by the way, way to get people to respond and feel like you start a personal relationship a bit, and instead of just getting an empty, boring email. I then, a few days after I think this was, I posted on LinkedIn and added this same image and talked about growth hacking and the talk I did, actually with these kind of slides, with the same selfie. And I've added this prospect to LinkedIn before. And funny thing is, I didn't initially get a response, but right after I posted this, basically I got like, sorry for my late reply, that looks awesome working from the location I posted. And basically also asking a follow-up question to move the deal forward. So this was a great kind of illustration of how you stay top of mind. So if you work with any type of founder-led sales or similar, it's so efficient to just post regularly in your feed on LinkedIn or YouTube or similar. That gets people invested in your story. They want to follow you and do business with you, and you stay top of mind so they don't forget you if you have an active conversation, and they will tell more people about you. So countless times I've had people coming and like, yeah, right after I post, they will come into my DMs and like, yeah, I have this person you should talk to, or we're actually hosting a webinar soon. We might check in your solution. And they kind of want to be part of your journey if you're active in sharing it. So do that like yesterday. And if you have any questions, you could connect with me on LinkedIn. Please follow this YouTube channel as well. I'll post more value bombs here and go in more into depth on how I got 1 million impressions on Reddit. The playbook I use for growing now, later stage are B2B SaaS SEO on Google, how we rank on the top of Google, and a bit about the ups and downs of the founder life, but primarily focused on growth and making that happen for B2B SaaS. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video if it helped you out. See you.